All right, welcome to Breaking Art, and most recently, Be a Place. This is a crossover, non-neutral Christmas special. Yay! Now, you're probably wondering if you're watching on the art channel, like, why are we playing video games? But there's a reason to that. There's a method to the madness. Because today I want to talk about something that affects both circles, my gaming circles and my art circles, and pretty much anybody trying to do things online. So get those eyes ready, because you're about to roll them. Today we're going to be talking about net neutrality. Now, hang in there, stick with me. This isn't just going to be a ranting session. Enough people have done that. I'm going to do that a little bit too, just to explain it, because some of the people in my art community, art takes a lot of work, and you kind of disappear from the world a little bit and might not understand what net neutrality actually is. And then also too, I do want to explain my experiences with net neutrality and a time before net neutrality. I've been doing YouTube off and on for, wow, almost 10 years. 2008, I think, is when I had my first channel. And it was just kind of a novelty, just kind of a thing. A hobby of mine. Didn't take it too seriously. Had some mild successes, but nothing major. But then for a while I fell out of it, and I stopped making videos and everything, and just worked in the normal 9 to 5, play video games, and kind of doodled here and there. And then one day I lost my job. It wasn't a good day. I got the old axe, the old layoff. So I spent a few months digging into my kitty, pay the bills, mooching off the family, things like that, as I look for a job. And then at one point I noticed that I was gonna have nothing. So I started a YouTube channel trying to think about what I could do. And I went around town. I have a background in graphic design. I'm pretty proficient in Adobe. And so I was looking for some local freelance design work. And I was having trouble finding that. At the same time, trying to do a YouTube channel, but YouTube always was slow. Like, I had buffering issues. Uploading videos took forever. And Google was always nice enough to tell me my bandwidth when I was on other websites versus the bandwidth when I was on YouTube. Every time I went on YouTube, my bandwidth would drop. And then shortly thereafter, net neutrality passed, now in 2015. And I saw drastic improvements in YouTube, and it was a much more pleasant experience, at least how it's supposed to operate, which is great. And so I decided to expand a little bit. Wasn't quite making enough, so I went out and I got myself a website. I got a 2-year domain. At the time it was called Breaking Art, for about $16. And then from there, a little bit later, when I could afford it, I went to Uncle Sam and I got myself a business license, and I spent about $50, I think, on that. And then, you pay yearly on that. I've spent more of that at this point. But essentially, I was able to start a business for under $100, which put food on the table and helped me get by as I searched for work. And then eventually I didn't have to search for work. I was making enough to pay the bills on. However, it left me empty, because like, I like to art, I like to paint, I like Adobe, and I like to create stuff that's inside my brain. like completely original stuff, it's very rewarding to come up with an idea and see it come to fruition. But if I'm spending all day designing, for other people, I'm burnt out. I don't want to do it anymore. So eventually I just went out and I got what I call myself like a big boy job. Big boy job, time to get a big boy job, so I could come home and I have that energy to, play around in Photoshop, Premiere, and After Effects. And that was great. Then I could focus on communities, because I also built a bunch of Facebook communities. One for just about every capital in the state where people can share their art, things like that. And those are real small. There's only, I got like 65 groups there, but only like 3 or 4 are active. It didn't really take too much traction. But the main hub, the Facebook group Breaking Arts and Music, it's up to over 400, but I kept it small. I kept it small, and I screen everybody that comes in there, because I don't want thieves or shysters coming in and just creating havoc and problems. That's a bad day. We are getting our butts kicked. But so with that infrastructure in place, everything's fine and dandy. I guess until yesterday, actually more like about a month ago. I always kept my pulse on net neutrality. About 2 months ago, it was like, yeah, they're going to repeal it. And then my internet service provider, which just so happens to be my day job, sent me a notification that there's new terms and conditions for utilizing the internet service. I said, uh-oh. So I decided to go ahead and read those terms and conditions, and I deemed it what I like to call no net neutral ready. It had things in there like terminology, like they reserve the right to terminate your internet service if you post anything offensive or obscene. Those are some vague definitions, especially for the internet. There's some things that I find offensive that most people are just like, oh, that's normal. Who decides what's offensive and what is not? Yeah, there's really no way of cohesively doing that. But yeah, that's like a one-off. I mean, if you tell like a fart joke or something like that, nobody's going to kick you off the internet. You know, that's just covering their bases. But then yesterday, net neutrality got repealed, which is a big bummer. We all know that. And if you listen to the Redcoats are sitting there telling the popcorn eating passes that you're still going to be able to share your memes. Don't worry. You're still going to be able to share your memes. YouTube is still going to work. Everything's going to be A-okay. Well, they're talking to the general public. But it affects us entrepreneurs. If you're like artist minded, or you're selling trinkets, this and that, it affects your overhead, your bottom line costs. If you're aspiring to be like a Let's Play channel hero and go through all your just playing games and being a personality and striving off of that, it greatly affects you as well. That's why we're talking about this on both the channels today. So anyway, that's my net neutrality story. Now, we want to talk about acceptance. Ooh, that's me. Hold on. Yeah. Let's get it. Oh yeah, I remember this. Watch this. I go up like that, and then I go nerf this, and then that guy grabs me, and I saved my own skin. That's what I'm good at. Saving my own skin, being adaptable, being malleable. So, anywho's, yeah, before we talk about adapting, game's not over yet, ladies and gentlemen. The game is not over yet. See, it's been repealed, but we've still got a month or so before anybody can act on it and start doing the crazy stuff that they're talking about doing, because it's got to be reviewed. They want to see what kind of impact it's going to have on the economy before they finally release the regulation. So that gives you time to call the FCC. It gives you time, if your politician voted to repeal it, just call them up and say that you're voting them out, and then actually vote them out, because we don't really need that anymore. I mean, Republican or Democrat, this is something, you know, we can, as the people, reach on both sides of the aisle over. If you're a guy, lady, anything in between, voted against net neutrality and the repeal of it, and you are pro net neutrality, vote them out, because it affects your wallet. Even the popcorn eating masses, it's going to affect your wallet as well. Another thing we could do is, like, our internet service providers are like graded by like Forbes magazine, things like that. They're always looking to see customer service ratings and everything. And what they gauge that on, it's based off of those surveys, those annoying surveys. They're always asking you to take service. Take the surveys. Take the surveys, and if you get free time, spare time, nothing going on, just call them. Have a conversation. You know, get your Bluetooth headset or get some headphones or put it on speaker and just call in to your internet service provider and just ask questions. And they're going to give you the platitudes, like, hey, everything's okay, this and that. But opt in for the survey, take the survey, score it a 0, and leave your comments. Express your opinions on what they're doing, because an internet service provider could come out right now and be a gosh darn hero. They could be a hero of the day. They could put in the terms and conditions that even though it was repealed, they are going to honor net neutrality. They could say it to you over the phone or through a chat field all they want. Some necklace goob agent, you know, if it's not in black and white, it ain't happening. So if we harass, you know, our CenturyLinks or Comcast or AT&T, no, AT&T ain't gonna do nothing about it. But if we harass them enough, one of them might come out and just go, you know what, we're gonna be the consumer company, and we're not gonna regulate. It's just not gonna happen. We're not going to do any nefarious stuff, and we're going to even put it in the terms and conditions of your internet service, all the rules that the customer has to abide by, but no accountability for the provider. If one would have the audacity to step up and do something like that, I would be so happy. But ideally, that's probably not going to happen, because shareholders take priority, and they make a lot more money if we don't have net neutrality, because they can nickel and dime everything. It's kind of like EA microtransactions, things like that. Man, I have it out for you, man. Oh, you got health, I'm boned. You got me. You got me. Run away. Run away. Oh, man. Oh, I got cornered too. This is a bad day. So anyway, enough about that. I mean, that might be futile at this point. I see internet being like cable service, be it 2 years from now, 6 months from now, 10 years from now, 50 years from now. At some point, they're just going to rein it in and make it like cable TV. But we could do everything we can to drag our feet, kicking and screaming the whole way. And that will give us time to establish ourselves. And that's where the adaptability comes in. Because to get everything in place is going to incrementally, like a frog boiling in water, is going to get more and more expensive. Because your internet service provider is going to have corporations like register. And I mean, I don't know for sure if this is going to happen, but this is the motivation that I see behind it. So we'll go through the steps, like how at the beginning I was telling you about how I got started, how I set up $16 for web hosting, and then, okay, so it's a little bit more than, I paid $50 for Adobe CC and $50, so less than $150 I started a business really. And that's going to get a lot more expensive because, well, first off, especially if you want to make YouTube videos, probably, you're going to have to pay extra so you can stream. You're going to pay extra so you can stream Netflix. You're going to pay extra so you can stream YouTube. So that's that there. And then if you're uploading, I'm sure there'll be maybe a microtransaction. You know, they'll charge you $2.99 per video that you upload. And, you know, something along those lines. I mean, I don't know pricing. I'm not Nostradamus and everything. But there's a reason why they work so hard to get it repealed. Now, outside of just your basic internet service, your basic access to things, now you start thinking about starting the business here, getting her done. And I wasted that. With that in mind, you know, first you just start with the web host. Well, with the web host, your options are probably going to be limited because, like I said, most ISPs are associated with cable, so they're probably going to use the same model to where, like say like GoDaddy, your web host, they have to pay extra for it to be supported on CenturyLink or Comcast profile. So that is going to drive up the cost of registering your domain. And then it's going to drive up the cost of hosting as well, because it'd probably be, you know, like server communication fees, just like, you know, you have your broadcasting fee with your cable. Every step along the way, somebody's going to take a cut. And that's just hosting. Then from there, this is where it gets really scary, is if we're keeping up with exclusivity and everything, then your pay cart, that's how you get your money. So if you're selling t-shirts, or if you're selling artwork or necklaces, things like that, if say PayPal has exclusive rights with, now we'll pick on Comcast, PayPal has exclusive rights with Comcast, that means on that platform they are going to have zero competition. No competition, which means instead of charging you, you know, 5-10% per transaction, they're going to charge you 20, 30, 40%, whatever they want. Whatever they want. So all of our overhead goes up. And then two, I'm sure what's going to wind up happening is if you're trying to do stuff online, you're going to have to like go business class with all of these companies. You're going to have to sign up for the business and play out the wazoo for a package that has everything that you need. So when you get the unlimited data, so you can be a 4K and everything, you're going to look at $200 a month for your web host, your internet speed, your basic access, and then also like server fees, all that. I'm sure they'll come up with packaging that's going to equal about $200 a month. And this is just for internet and e-commerce, all bundled together, not to mention whatever your shopping cart is going to charge you, that 5, 10, 20, 30, 40%. Again, I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but because it's wild, wild west, man. They could do anything. We gave all the control to our internet service provider, and I think our government in return gets a way to circumvent First Amendment rights. So going back to the terms and conditions being deemed offensive, one phone call from somebody, like say you express a different political opinion, something like that, then you can be shut down without the government actually shutting you down, because you sign terms and conditions to provide internet, and you can use your freedom of speech all you want, but there's no freedom to be heard. no freedom to be heard. You know, you say whatever you want, but they don't have to show it. And now with artificial intelligence and the technology that's out, censorship can run rampant. But anyway, that's my rant. That's my adaptability. I strongly urge you, if you're trying to do something online, e-commerce, all of that, work on your visibility, work on your search engine optimization, and network. Be excellent to each other. Make friends. Say nice things about other people's stuff, because that helps your visibility as well. And then you'll also build really awesome relationships by not just saying nice video or I really like that. Elaborate. Tell people, tell your fellow content creators what you like about the things that they do. That gives them feedback to either improve or it depends on what they want to do. And definitely feel free to leave feedback in the comment section below. Or if you're watching on Facebook, however that works, comments, whatever. You know, I have the links on the Facebook. So if you're on the Facebook, go to my YouTube channel, Breaking Art. It's really key. I really like it because it's mine. But then also too, if you're watching on YouTube, there's a bunch of links in the bottom. If you're an artist, definitely follow breakingartsandmusic.com. That group is screened heavily. I look at everybody that comes into that group. So if you want to join that group, make sure that you have art on your Facebook profile. If I don't see any art, you ain't getting in. It's not about, you know, selling your artwork. It's about learning and communicating. Also, I have a group called Breaking Business, where I do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. There's admins from some pretty large groups in there. We give each other feedback, also share post articles about how to improve like things like branding and just the business side of things to help get people going. And that one's still kind of in the works. There's also Breaking Film as well. I don't do too much with that. Sometimes I post like Red Letter Media stuff there. And if you've made it this far, congratulations, you're awesome. Thank you. There's also subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to click the stupid freaking bell so you get notifications if you want to. I mean, definitely up to you. And then outside of that, that's enough shameless self-promotion there. I think we did pretty good on that. I don't do that too often. You don't see me hawking stuff a lot, especially in the groups, but I'm gonna have to start because, man, I can't morally sit here. Like I said, I work for ISP and our talking points totally conflict, terms and conditions, and I've developed a lot of great friendships through my groups. And I know a lot of people are just doing that. They just have the online income, and we gotta pull together, figure out how to adapt. If people find, you know, tricks, you know, for SEO, tips shared in those groups and everything like that, and we all pull together and just get it done. Get it done. Oh, his nerf beat my nerf. Yeah, Reinhardt. Oh, I get tore up from the floor up. But yeah, eventually, like, I do have Patreon. I know it's been a long time. I don't know how to get into it. And plus, like, my channel doesn't really quite have the fan base for that, but we're gonna be working hard to make that happen now. No more just passively putting stuff out there. We're gonna do the due diligence. There's gonna be tutorials, more tutorials. It's been a while since I've done some of those. I've got some in the works there. Working on some comic book stuff. Learning how to draw people better, and then also to newly developed game channel. I hope you guys like it. Once again, don't forget, leave some feedback there. and I'm dead, and that's also all I got, and now I'm really dead. But thank you for watching, and be excellent to each other. Thank you, and good night.